Fish Fillet and Lettuce, written by Shri P.S. Chowdhury, published in the year 2014. I met this elderly couple at a friend's house sometime in early 90s who had invited me for an informal dinner. The number of guests were limited and most of them were known to me except this couple. My friend told me in a low voice, I am certain you would enjoy talking to them. The gentleman was the ex ruler of an estate in northern Orissa. We all refer to him as Raja Saheb and his wife Rani Sahiba. I carried my chilled fresh lime glass and introduced myself to Raja Saheb. He was short, handsome, and possibly was in his late 50s, but more importantly, extremely suave and well mannered. He got me introduced to his wife, saying, Rani Sahiba, meet Mr. Chaudhary, our new young friend. It was indeed difficult to describe her beauty. I felt that she could perhaps be compared only with the proverbial Tilottama. She was polite, cultured, and sophistication personified. Both Raja Saheb and Rani Sahiba felt happy when they came to know that I belonged to Calcutta. Raja Saheb said, Calcutta has a special place in my heart. I spent some of my best years in that city. I still recall during those good old days, I used to visit Calcutta with my parents, and more often than not, we travelled from Rourkela to Calcutta in our car instead of the train. My father preferred his Buick over other cars like De Soto or Plymouth. Wow! And Rolls Royce? I asked him seriously. He had a full throated laugh and replied, Sorry, no Rolls Royce. In fact, even in those days, it was quite expensive, and to the best of my knowledge, only two in our region owned Rolls Royce. One is Maharaja of Darbhanga, who donated the Darbhanga building for Calcutta University, and Maharaja of Burdwan. During the course of discussion, I was pleasantly surprised by Raja Saheb's vast knowledge on a variety of subjects, that is, British history, the Raj days, food, big games, etc. Yes, I loved hunting, he continued. Even today, I still possess the Winchester rifle with which I have killed at least few dozens of sambars, barasingas, and even a leopard. But today, when I look back, I genuinely resent this. I feel I should have shot them with my camera, not with guns. I agreed and said, Sir, even Jim Corbett felt the same way. I also noticed that Raja Saheb was a heavy smoker. Look, old habits die hard, he said. I used to try my father's imported Havana cigars even as a young child and fell for it. Unfortunately, they are no more available. So I shifted to cigarettes. Meanwhile, Rani Sahiba, who was listening to our conversation, joined us. While talking to her, I came to know that she hailed from the royal family of Bastar, which is in southern Chhattisgarh. She was the younger sister of Maharaja of Bastar, Shri Praveer Chandra Bhanjdev, and informed me that in 1966 he was brutally killed by MP government police under tacit support from both Mrs. Indira Gandhi and D.P. Mishra, the then Chief Minister of undivided Madhya Pradesh, for so called treason and sedition charges. I felt sad. The news was not only heartbreaking but unbecoming for a democratic country like ours. During our talk, Rani Sahiba mentioned that she was an avid reader of English classics, with Dickens being her most favorite. I observed that her English, which was impeccable, was a bit different than ours. It had a typical British tone. Where did you have your schooling? I asked her. Well, in the beginning I was homeschooled, she replied. An English governess came all the way from Manchester to teach me English, basic maths, ethics, and above all, etiquette. She was with me for a few years, and once she left, I was sent to a boarding school in England. No wonder her accent was inimitable. After our first meet, we became close, and whenever Raja Sahib and Rani Sahiba visited our town, they would always make it a point to invite me and my wife for dinner at a guest house where they normally stayed. And his entourage normally included the driver, a cook, a maid, canned food, jumbo prawn from Lake Chilika et al. Once, while dining with them, Rani Sahiba gave me an old album to browse. I saw their pictures with Maharani Gayatri Devi and Savai Mansingh. Besides that, J.R.D. Tata, George Harrison of the Beatles, and some of the noted Indian politicians. But the photo which caught my immediate attention was a lovely young blonde flanked by Raja Sahib and Rani Sahiba. And to me, her face somehow looked familiar. Who is this? I asked Rani Sahiba. She smiled and said, this was taken in Geneva, where we had gone for our honeymoon. We rented a chalet, that is, a small cottage pronounced as chalet, instead of staying in a hotel. And recognize this young girl? She was Marilyn Monroe. I almost fainted. Since we had royal food at the guest house of Raja Sahib quite a few times, I decided to call them at my dilapidated house over dinner. When I broached the idea to my wife, she flatly refused. Are you crazy? They are in a different league, and where are we? Secondly, they prefer only continental dishes, and where shall I find a cook? Well, I admit she had some justifications, but then You just cannot go on eating food at someone's place without inviting them even once. I told her, look, dear, you just decide and leave the matter of arranging a cook to yours truly. The cook made vegetable pie, garlic bread, Hungarian goulash, fried fish fillet, Russian salad with lettuce and ice cream. I could feel that they liked the decor of my house and also praised the quality of food. Thank God, both of us were relieved. Suddenly, Rani Sahiba asked me, do you get fish fillet here? I observed that she pronounced the word fillet as fillet and not as the Calcuttans say fillet. To confirm, I again asked her, you mean fish fillet? She again replied, yes, fish fillet. This time with more emphasis on the letter T. I couldn't control myself anymore and asked her, Rani Sahiba, I had always been saying this as fillet. In fact, most people pronounce it like this. With her typical gorgeous smile, she replied, oh dear, most Calcuttans also pronounce lettuce as lettuce, don't they? But it is actually lettuce. Immediately after they left our house around midnight, I checked my dictionary. Well, I never won any time in life. Thank you very much. Now, some word power. He was short, handsome, and possibly was in late 50s, but more importantly, extremely suave and well mannered. Suave, S-U-A-V-E, suave means very polite, pleasant, and attractive. During the course of discussion, I was pleasantly surprised by Raja Saheb's vast knowledge on a variety of subjects, that is, British history, the Raj days, food, big games, etc. Big game means large animals hunted for sport. I observed that her English, which was impeccable, was a bit different than ours. It had a typical British tone. Impeccable. IMPECCABLE. Impeccable means faultless, perfect, in accordance with highest standards. But the photo which caught my immediate attention was a lovely young blonde flanked by Raja Saheb and Rani Sahiba. Blonde, BLOND, blonde means a girl who has pale yellow or gold hair. Since we had royal food at the guest house of Raja Saheb quite a few times, I decided to call them at my dilapidated house over dinner. When I broached the idea to my wife, she flatly refused. Broach, BROACH, broach means raise a difficult subject for discussion. Are you crazy? They are in a different league. And where are we? Secondly, they prefer only continental dishes. And where shall I find a cook? Be in a different league means to be much better than something or someone else. In fact, most people pronounce it like this. With her typical gorgeous smile, she replied, oh dear, most Calcuttans also pronounce lettuce as lettuce, don't they? But it is actually lettuce. Gorgeous. GORGEOUS. Gorgeous means very beautiful and attractive. Thank you very much.